This weekend, Texas experienced an extraterrestrial visitor as a meteor was seen breaking up over the Lone Star State, with a piece crashing and burning through a Houston woman's home. Speaking of crashing and burning, Texas Tech. Welcome to the Moonsam Cast. I am Jorden. This is oh boy, more basketball this weekend to the Toyota Center or Midwestern Helms Deep. Brian, how are you?
I'm good. I am good. What a weekend. What a weekend, man.
I know many people are complaining because there's been no quote-unquote Cinderella this year. There's been no, I don't know, a team you never heard of is not doing well. The Cinderella this year is sadly Texas, which I don't think we count as a Cinderella. And last year I think it was Arkansas, which also doesn't get to count as a Cinderella, despite what sports radio says. I was listening to sports radio not too long ago, and they said that Arkansas is not a real SEC school because they've never won anything in football. It doesn't matter what they won in basketball.
So how far does Texas as an 11 seed have to go to be considered a Cinderella run? Final four?
No, nowhere. It's when you have an endowment, an NIL endowment, where you can get Lamborghinis, you don't get to count as a Cinderella anymore. This is why I said you'll know when you see it. It's a Cinderella run, like if I was trying to think of like a Saint Mary, not even Saint Mary's, but like a VCU, I think would be so. Even though I don't know if people count them as a Cinderella anymore because of their deep run 10 years ago. I don't think Texas can be counted as a Cinderella only because yes, they're an 11 seed. They're also in the SEC, and I don't know when to really expect them to be here at the same time.
Oh my God, the SEC bias guy, I forgot.
No, it's not like this would be the same thing as the Big 12. If let's say, I'm trying to think of an 11 seed. Let's say like BYU, not even BYU. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like who would be an 11 seed from the Big
Arizona
12.
State.
Yes, the worst team in all of the Big 12. If they were an 11 seed and they made it all the way to the final, the national championship, not even close to Cinderella. You don't get to be in a Power Four conference and be a Cinderella. That is the antithesis of Cinderella. When you're an NIL endowment fund, is millions and millions of dollars. Listen, whenever Texas and Texas A&M stop getting public money every time I pump gas, then they may be considered Cinderella. I don't know. But right now, the PUF in Texas makes it so that every time I go pump very expensive gas, not only does Texas Tech get money, I'm also funding the NIL programs for both Texas and A&M. So they don't get to count. That's one of my big rants as a person who not grew up in Texas, but went to school in Texas. They get all this money from land and oil and all that, and we don't get that money. And that's okay. It's in the Texas Constitution. At the same time, you don't get to pretend you're the underdog when literally the state gives you money. It's in the Constitution, yes.
Frittata.
Yes, Fertitta, but no. Listen, they all have our billionaires. Everyone has their billionaires. Texas Tech has their billionaire, A&M has their billionaires, UT has their billionaires. We all have our billionaires. That's like the entire way you get sports money now. Michigan has Larry Ellison, who's like, no, that's okay. It's the PUF, which bothers me. The public university fund or whatever. Or in the Texas Constitution, there's land set aside that the funds that come from the land, the profits from the land, go directly to A&M and UT. And it's like millions and millions and millions of dollars that they get directly from that. It's in the Texas Constitution. That kind of annoys me a little, just a teensy bit. Other than that, Brian.
Maybe being a private school and not have conference funding either really is the hardest hill to fight up.
I really, yeah. I think actually
not
being
wearing anything Notre Dame right now, so.
Oh, okay. If it was a clip, it wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, with that said, Texas cannot, I don't think you can be a Cinderella, no matter how seeded you are, if you're a Power 4 school. Even a Big East school, I don't think they get to count as Cinderellas at all.
I don't know.
I don't know. No, because when you think
if
the Big
East, school is a lower than 12 seed, then yes.
I don't know. It feels like there's
this is anti-Italian discrimination.
This is anti-Northeastern discrimination.
I did not mean to do this with this, but oh well.
It's that's very Italian of you. No, it's anti-Northeastern.
I was born there. I can do the hand gesture.
Oh yeah, you were. You're a Sicilian by birth, technically. As my coworker's grandmother once said, never trust a Sicilian. So Brian, I'm sorry, I can't trust you anymore.
You shouldn't have been trusting me in the first place. We used to play Among Us.
That was so much fun, by the way.
I fucking loved it. I
that.
hated how people couldn't. We're gonna do it. We're gonna start this. I hated how we had people that couldn't realize that game starts, high emotion, anger, like panic. Game ends, calm.
Can I don't know if we can release this. I'm sorry if you're gonna have to cut this.
Nope. I don't have time to do cuts.
Okay. I'll explain to you later what my thoughts are on that.
I'm sorry.
It's a general theory, actually. It's more of a general theory, but it applies very much to this situation. You'll see what I'm saying when I say it, and you'll be like, oh, that makes complete sense, actually.
I'm sorry to pull the no cuts on you. It's just...
No, it's okay. I'll be very
yesterday's
careful.
kind of pivot kind of fucked me, which is okay.
Well,
it's no one's fault. I'm not mad.
No, it is someone's fault.
Well,
it's the squirrel's fault.
Not our fault.
The squirrel's fault.
There's no irritation between us two.
It's not even the AT&T's fault, really. It's not even the AT&T's fault, really. It's the fucking squirrels. They actually sent another guy back out today. Dude, it locked the box even more.
You should buy a legit pellet gun, because my grandfather had a whole bunch of bird feeders, and they have in Iowa they get I don't know. I was about to get smart with it. I don't know what birds they get, but they get a bunch of pretty birds. But squirrels are little fucktards. So a squirrel would try and eat it, and he had a pellet gun. He'd just, and it wouldn't kill it, but it would be like it would hit its shoulder, and it'd go. Whoom!
The squirrels where I live do need a little they need to be brought down a peg. They're being a little too braggadocious for their own sake. I have 2 dogs, and sometimes they'll just be a little too close. I'm like, if I let the dogs go, I'm not, but if I did, you'd be dead right now.
There needs to be an accident where someone lets their dogs go for a little bit. Well, and then maybe the squirrels learn a little bit of a lesson, huh?
Well, there's this tree right up my stairs, and the squirrels will just sit far enough above the stairs where the dogs can't get them. They just sit there and watch. I'm like, all right, you're asking, not to victim, but you're asking to be killed by a dog. With all that said, Brian, killed by dogs. They were dog school. I didn't think they were dog school off the top of my head. Oh, Huskies. Yukon.
You could have just gone to underdogs.
Oh, well, there's not any of those right now. I'm doing well. I'm generally underdog tournament right now.
The Cinderella that is UT.
I refuse to call them a Cinderella. I just refuse. I cannot in any fiber of my body call them a Cinderella. Not because, I think to be a Cinderella, and we can maybe have this discussion at some other point, you have to not be in a Power 4 conference. Or not the richest school in an AL.
Oh, is that right? I don't have to be in a Power 4 conference.
No, to be a Cinderella.
Hard stop.
You're in a Power 4 conference for basketball, though.
Oh, shit, we are. We're at ACC.
Yeah.
The ACC. Who do we have? Duke.
My strategy of just pick against the ACC in every conceivable game where it makes some sense. They're not playing Duke. I think I have Duke losing to UConn, but by the way, UConn looks dangerous. I'm all for UConn right now. Coming out of the Eastern.
Is Virginia still in?
Virginia. Who do you? We should actually have the bracket pulled up right now because I forgot.
Probably have that pulled up.
I've forgotten.
Me too.
I've forgotten everyone who won, other than my notes. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Sorry, this is great podcasting, guys. We love doing this for you.
It's fine. They'll live.
It's fine. We'll be fine. But so far, my strategy of picking against the ACC at every conceivable stop has worked almost flawlessly. The only one I can think of is Duke is doing pretty well. Also, Tennessee beat them as I expected, as I picked.
I almost had a perfect region. Almost had one.
Which one? Huh?
I almost had 2 perfect regions. Let's go to the East. The East, I had UCLA, I had UCF upsetting UCLA.
I did as well, but I think that was maybe influenced by me, by my hated.
I think so too. I think we talked about that. And then
the Brian Kelly basketball.
The Midwest, I had Akron upsetting Tech. This is for a different bracket than we're talking about.
Okay,
not our moon stamp bracket. This is my bracket that is arguably the most important to me because it decides you get whatever place you get. That's the order where you get to pick your draft for your fantasy football league that's been going on for God. Oh my God!
Is that the one I left years ago?
No, this is Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Okay. I thought I left. There's one I left years ago that I always thought I should get back in. But I also kind of hate fantasy football half the time, so I stopped caring about week 7. Just like completely, I'm like, I don't care a fuck about my plan at this point.
Now the West the West and South for me were horrible. West, guess who I had in the what was that, Elite 8? Yeah, guess who I had in the Elite 8 for the West?
Was it Florida?
No.
Oh, I don't even know who you could have chosen.
Biggest upset of the tournament.
Was it? Look at the West. Was it UNC?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you had Wisconsin. I'm sorry. I'm looking at South. I'm looking at South. That's my bad. West, is it the other one in the West as well?
Yes. This is all about the West.
Oh, was it Gonzaga as well?
It was Gonzaga. It was Wisconsin and Gonzaga in the Elite 8 out of the West. Oops.
Well, you can be. So the thing is, you can be forgiven because Gonzaga is a household name. It's a name. It's a name brand. It's not the Gonzaga of the past is not the Gonzaga of this year. I know people are calling for Mark Few's job. I don't think that should be happening, despite the fact that it was lackluster this year, and maybe he has still won a national championship. I don't know who you bring in to have taken Gonzaga from where it was to where it is now, and it feels short-sighted. It feels like we're talking about maybe Belichick. I don't know who we're talking about. Where it was a relatively good coach who brought them from the brink of wherever horrible the team was before, and people calling for the job. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe it was Penn State. I don't remember. But
I think it was. Well, I mean, Franklin could never get him over the hump for State Penn.
Yeah.
So
which in the Big Ten, I almost want to defend James Franklin and be like, it's kind of understandable right now. Big Ten is pretty hard in football, at least. Which there's an argument to be made. They're the football conference of America. I don't know if I'd make that argument, but you could. I think people.
3 of the last 3 national championships.
Yeah, that's the
Indiana,
problem.
Michigan, and Ohio State.
You can make the argument that is the football conference of the world, or not the world in some sense of college football around the world. But I don't know if I want to make that argument because I think there's a conference that is hypothetically the best conference you've ever seen and will win every hypothetical game. I'm maybe a little pissed about that one. With all that said, Brian, football, not in my purview at all. Basketball, very much in my purview. Do you have any thoughts from this past weekend, 4 days? The first weekend of March Madness, which like every Saturday night, I get the same thing happens where I go, oh, we only have one more day of this. And like I understand the Sweet 16 happens in the Elite 8, but it's like there's fewer games. It's just not as much. And like it doesn't start at 11 and end at 11. It's not like 12 hours of college basketball. So it always hurts on Saturday night where you go, oh, it's over. It's over. But without all that said, do you have any thoughts?
A lot of people are complaining about upsets.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to part of my take. And yes, this is taking their take or observation. It's not taking it. It's giving them credit because I completely agree with them in the fact that they said the science and math behind seeding has gotten so much better in the past 10 years than it has in the past. So you're not seeing as many, 13s beat 4s and all that stuff or whatever the matchup is. It's just, it's better seeding so less upsets happen.
Well, I also think there's a lot of advanced analytics now. Like, as much as I rail against the quad system, because I hate the quad system, because the quad system, to me, like, intuitively makes zero sense. But maybe that's me being annoying. As much as I hate against like the quad, like the net, or I've talked about how much I don't really like analytics this season.
You like K-Palm, right?
I love Ken Palm, but I don't like it. Like
Ken Palm.
I come to this point where I'm like a Jeff Bagwell, this boy nice. I hate computers, this boy nice. Where I felt like we were over analyzing. It was back when Miami, Ohio may not be. Miami, Ohio was at its ceiling, by the way, which is win a game in the first 4 and then lose to whoever they play. But this is a year where I don't think I saw a single complaint. The only complaint I saw was maybe Miami, Ohio being first 4. which again, that was kind of their ceiling. That's kind of where they deserved to be. And so I can't like it. We last year we had North Carolina, but that's more of like a nepo baby than it was like it was institutional fraud more than it was an actual decision. And so I don't know if I can complain. It's been like as much as we want to rail against there being no Cinderellas or there going to be like, and as much as you want to say Texas is, I refuse to. I refuse to. It's Lucille Bluth. I don't understand the question, so I won't respond. And as much as we want to rail against maybe like no Cinderellas or no like special upsets, it's been a really fun tournament so far. Like even the upsets, like I don't know if you can call Gonzaga losing after Gonzaga's had a pretty bad year to Texas, which is again has the most in depth. I think the biggest NIL fund in all of the country. I don't know if you can call that an upset. It's more like a money wins. The money comes to talking against a team that's a conference is basically breaking up. And so I've been very happy with this tournament. Like as much as maybe some things were boring, everything setting up like last year, the Final Four is going to be electric. I don't know. I do not know who's going to be in it. I know who I think is going to be in it. I do not know who's going to be in it. But we're setting ourselves up for an electric Final Four. Electric. Yeah, if the national championship I have, Arizona versus UConn happens, it's going to be an amazing national championship. And this year I won't have to care, which is the biggest part that I'm kind of like not hoping for, but at the same time, I've accepted my fate. Even though UH looks really good, but UH also looks good in the first two games every single year.
I don't know, man.
I'm allowed to be. Here's the thing. As someone pointed out, I'm very pessimistic about my own team only because it makes sure that I'm not as sad. The last time I got happy was in the Alamo Dome, and as we learned, it was the worst night of my life, and maybe the worst memory of all time of my life. And I've had some bad memories here. I've had 3 surgeries, 2 major surgeries, and I go like,
I had forgotten the intro to that that podcast where you were like, Brian, a girl I thought I would marry, a girl I thought I'd be with for the rest of my life, like left me or ghosted me, and that does not hurt as much as losing this national championship.
To fact check you, not only did she ghost me, she then moved to Seattle with a new guy, and that hurt nowhere near being the Alamo Dome that night. I mean, not even close. Like I like literally rushed my brother and my sister. Like we're leaving. Like I can't be in here right now. I was just like, again, I ended up in an IHOP listening to Easy by the Commodores, and there was a bunch of sad UH fans, while Florida fans were running past, screaming their heads off. There's another story I'm going to tell. I'll tell you after the podcast about that night. It made me very upset. Which I can't tell on the podcast, mostly because it gives away information. But it's just I have my notes here of like things I've run down and just want to say. I don't know if you have any specific thoughts. Okay, Louisville versus USF. I'm very disappointed in USF. That made me look bad. That made me very question my ACC bad picks. And again, I'm vindicated. Bruce Pearl agreed, and that makes me very sad. Prairie View A&M, thanks for coming. I'm really glad you got here for the once. Really cool of you. Sorry about what happened. My bad. Sorry for what happened. Wisconsin, High Point. I'm so fucking mad because I actually chose not to choose High Point because everyone and their mother was like, this is the game. This is a bad match for Wisconsin. And I go, they're a little too cute with it. It scares me when everyone picks it. And then everyone picked it, and I said, no, I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna be the guy who goes, no, I'm not picking that. And I'm so upset myself. It was 10 extra points, but some brackets I'm like behind by 10 points, which makes me very upset. I have BYU Texas second year in a row. The Cinderella is a well-established SEC school with tons of NIL money.
You just called them a Cinderella. Boom, I win.
No.
Nope, it's official. It's recorded. Folded.
Georgia St. Louis. Georgia is the What That Dog Doing Here award for What That Dog Doing Here. I don't know who invited Georgia. I do not remember really even hearing about Georgia the entire season.
Long.
Did not stay long. I mean, like, even I was like, dude, St. Louis is going to kill them. And St. Louis, I don't know if they killed them, but they won. Miami, Ohio, again, like I said, amazing run. Their ceiling was the first round. They were not going to make it past the first round, even if they, no matter who their matchup was, there was no way they were getting like above 13 seed, which I think they actually really wanted to see. But like, if they had just gone in, by themselves. Cool. I really like the story. It was really cool watching them the first four with like the entire stadium. They were in Dayton, Ohio, was for them. I really, really liked that. This is again what makes March beautiful is that you have those kind of moments, those kind of games where like that team wins, and then the good teams start winning, and you go, oh wow, I can't wait for the Final Four. That's gonna be really fun. We're gonna have some really good games. St. John's, Kansas. I think before the game messaged in our group chat. I said this is gonna be a disaster.
It's gonna be a slump fest.
It's going to be horrible. And you go, oh, they don't like each other. Go, no, they just don't play basketball well. The thing they're intended to do, they don't do super well. And it was beautiful. It was sloppy. It was a mess between two Hall of Fame, national championship winning coaches for teams that at times, I don't know if they understood the game of basketball or how to shoot a ball. And that made me very happy because I had no personal stake in it. I just liked how sloppy it was, honestly, because it's like, it's a sicko game. If you're a casual watching, you're like, oh my god. Like if you're an NBA fan who watched St. John's, Kansas, you go, why would I ever watch this ever again? If you're like a college basketball fan, you watch and you go, this is what makes it beautiful. No team is complete. Like very rarely do you have a complete team. You have a team that usually they slack on one thing, or if they're good at everything, there's a time when they just can't do the thing that they're good at. And
well, Duke is the perfect team. They just have injuries and a suspension.
I would argue maybe Arizona's the perfect team. I don't think Duke's all that good. That's
highest pin rating of all time, Jorden.
Well, I don't give a shit because you're playing the ACC. As we know, again, Jordan's theory of this March is ACC bad. Don't choose ACC. Also, I put in bad defense for a layup to let a guy who didn't make a shot the entire game win the game, which again just goes to beautiful, sloppy, wonderful mess. There's a metaphor I want to make for this, and I won't because I think my mom listens sometimes. So I will save it for offline.
Whoa, wait, hold on. What the fuck did you just say to me? I mean, what did you just say to me?
What did I say to you? I said what I said to you.
Whoa, I want to confirm what you just, the little side note that you kind of just threw on there at the end.
I'm going to be so honest, I already forgot what I said.
Your mom sometimes listens to this.
Yeah. So I didn't know. She texted me and she goes, hey, who think's going to win this game, UCLA, UConn? I go, oh, UConn because I hate UCLA. And she goes, oh, I know you do. I listen to the podcast. I was like, thanks, Mom. I didn't know. So,
we've talked about the Barry Smith Award.
She doesn't listen that often, I don't think.
Okay.
This might be.
I was horrified.
I'm pretty sure she knows about the Barry Smith Award, too.
I'm
pretty sure I told her about
disgusted by that.
No, I'm pretty sure I told her about that just because it was, a hard time in my life. I didn't like that very much. Yeah, what a weird, there's a person who made that happen. Dickhead Bowl, UConn versus UCLA, which again, I actually don't think I like Dan Hurley a lot. I'm a big fan of Dan Hurley. Yeah, yes, they are.
Is that what you went for dickhead, or you just calling them assholes?
No, because they're just dickheads. Like it's not.
I thought you were doing double. Like they're both assholes, but they're bald, so they're dickheads. I was like, oh, that's great.
Well, Dan sometimes has a little fuzz on top, and I mean, I don't know if your penis is a little fuzz on top. I'm gonna get that checked out. But Nick Cronin, and they both wear suits though, so maybe that's the
condoms.
Yeah, okay. They wrap it up.
Penis suit, right? Oh, dude, marketing idea. Hey, Mrs. Smith, marketing idea. We make condoms, but we put little outfits on them, so your dick is wearing a little outfit.
Oh, I thought you were going to put Nick Cronin and Dan Hurley as the representative or the advertiser for them. Because I wrap it up like I wrap myself up for games. But okay, I like the idea, and yes, that was disgusting. UConn is going to kill Duke. Is my takeaway from that game. UConn is going to murder Duke.
Whoa! UConn's going to murder Duke?
Yes. Again,
this is the Duke. This is Ken Palm favorite Duke.
Yes, you know who's the Ken Palm favorite like every single year for the past 5 years? UH. How'd that go for us? Well, one year
the UH isn't a blue blood. This is
UH.
Duke.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I don't see one Duke. UH. I haven't seen one UH person in the commercial other than that Coca-Cola commercial with the girl at the end with the UH shirt on. The Boozer Twins on every commercial. I will say the State Farm commercial is actually pretty good. I actually haven't thought about commercials as well. We have about 3 weekends of this tournament. I'm already tired of a good amount of these commercials. Like I like the Boozer one because of the wiper fluid joke he makes.
There's only
It's
one I
pretty
like.
good because it looks like Gatorade. It's a really good joke. Whoever came out with that joke, good job. It makes me laugh every time. So like this feels like a 2010s, 2000s Gatorade commercial. Good job. I like it a lot. I think if you're a big there's 3,000 Capital One commercials, a couple of variants of them. I think if you are a big advertiser, big company, you should have a different commercial for every single week. So we can't get tired of this one single commercial. Because by the
Oh,
national
dude, as soon as a
championship,
commercial gets shoved down my throat too much, or as soon as it starts to really annoy me, I'm just like, I'm not buying your product anymore. You have done the opposite of what you wanted.
I think we're also not the main people to be advertised to because we're woke when it comes to our brains. I don't know. But we also are Gen Z, so we've seen advertisements our entire life. Millennial, Gen Z, whatever. We're something. We're in a
I
twinger
like
phase.
that you know what I'm going to say immediately, so you get in front of it.
I know you so well. I think there are times when you say something in the group chat, and I'm like, oh, he just knows me. He knows what I'm thinking. We talk about sports all the time. I think that, and I had Abracadabra last year. I hate Lady Gaga, not because of anything she's done, just because if I hear the song Abracadabra, it's like a secret agent or a sleeper agent. I go into fight or flight mode. I can't hear that song anymore. It was everywhere last year, which I thank God.
Worst one of all time, and I'll never, unless I'm starving and they're the only option, Burger King. Fuck that Whopper song. Fuck you.
I have Stockholm syndrome myself into liking that, and I was thinking about it. I'll be like Whopper, Whopper, Double Whopper, Junior, Triple, Double Whopper, because also I don't know how to say this without I associate it with DeMar Hamlin and how ridiculous that entire situation was. Where
okay,
they went to commercial,
all right, yeah,
and the first thing was double. We're like, oh, we just saw a guy down the field. That's this is 1910s football, horrific. And then he goes commercials like Whopper, double, triple, and no one ever, probably whoever the director was for that game was like that poor idea. We didn't really know what we were cutting to. I don't know if they have a choice who they were cutting to, but I've Stockholm syndrome myself to where it's like I think they're aware of the meme. I don't think Capital One is aware hey, Charles Barkley and Spike Jones and Samuel Jackson are funny. I can only do so much before I'm like, I can't see the same fucking joke 10 times every commercial.
I'm sorry, Sam Jackson.
I'm sorry, Sam Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to.
I actually really like that one.
The Capital Ones have it down to a science where they understand what we're looking for, but it's only so many times you can see the same joke.
Also, to give Capital One credit, which is definitely the most I've ever done in my entire life, but to give them credit, I don't really see them advertise very much outside of this. No. They're not shoving advertisements down my throat. So Capital One and those guys together is part of March for me. It is.
Yeah.
It's like hearing Jim Nance at the beginning of the Masters. Hello, friends. It's just it's correlated together.
You know what's coming. Yeah, and I will say, last year at the national championship, there was a Charles Barkley win, and I was like, okay, I can get behind this. And it's clearly Capital One, but it's I can definitely get behind a Charles Barkley win.
White whale, by the way. White whale.
100%. Many questions to ask. Many about San Antonio and Big Allison. Which we have our thoughts. Other Florida, Iowa. I had Florida in my Final Four, and I think it was less about me thinking Florida would get there and more because it was a weaker Florida team, especially down the stretch. And more about that, I had to put someone in that Final Four spot who wasn't UH, and I probably should have been Illinois if I was going to be honest with myself. With that said, whenever brackets were revealed, I saw my brother, who I think is a genius when it comes to college basketball, put Iowa beating Florida. I go, oh no, he's probably right. And then the game came. And the entire game was the ball movement is spectacular. Florida looks lost. Iowa looks great. I know this is technically going to be an upset. It doesn't feel like an upset. And that Iowa just looks like the better team completely. Florida lost to Vanderbilt in the SEC conference tournament. Didn't look good down the stretch. It wasn't fun. Again, what do you want to be? You want to be hot in March. They weren't hot in March. I think this is the whatever year that the champion, the defending champion doesn't make it to maybe the Elite Eight or there's a stat out there or something.
That was Sweet 16.
But Sweet 16. Yeah, that makes
it might be Elite Eight.
It might be Elite Eight. It's not the Final Four. We know it's somewhere in the second weekend.
Yeah, they would have said it hasn't made it out of the first weekend if they were talking about Sweet 16. So it's probably Elite Eight.
Yeah, and I really like they slowed down the game, and like I have been saying that I think the conventional wisdom is the slower the pace, the better. I've been saying I think it's gonna be faster the pace, the better, just because I think more teams are playing faster. Big 12's playing faster, SEC's playing faster. And if you can play faster well, if you can dominate the game, that's good. But Iowa really slowed that game down in every conceivable way. I worry if Iowa makes it past Nebraska. I worry about UH this weekend anyway. This could be a Final Four team. Iowa could be a Final Four team. Maybe I'm just recency biased for this tournament. But overall, I think they definitely could. What else? Oh, A&M Houston. A&M Houston was a religious experience for me because I was very happy with how that went for me. With that said, live by Buckyball, die by Buckyball. And I'm a fan of Buckyball. I think Buckyball has its issues. Like, I think pressing the entire game when it's just clearly not working, you gotta change strategy at some point. Like, at no point did I think there was a turnover or really even a 10-second violation on Houston's part. And so it felt a little like, okay, this is kind of just like a little pretty thing you're doing. It's not really helping you at all. At the same, like, it wasn't even like making UH tired, which is a part of what the whole program is. You wear the other team down by attrition by just making them work the game. Never made it seem like they were making them work the entire game. Well,
I think it was the A&M game because I like looked up and I didn't look at the score. I think this was right after half, so I didn't look at the score. And I know the score bug was right there. It would have taken me 2 seconds, but I was watching the play and I was like, damn, like they're pressing and they're like they locked them down. They locked Houston down this play. And then I looked at the score. I was like, oh, that was the one time they locked him down.
It was this like weird thing where for the first 13 minutes, it was band for band basically. It was 25-24. I even texted one of my friends before the end. I was like, hey, I love Buckyball. Just understand that. And I texted him like 10 minutes. I was like, I hate Buckyball. Please stop doing that. So, and he was like, that escalated quickly. It was the flagrant 2. No, sorry, the flagrant 2. The flagrant 1 that really changed that game, which was like a really dumb flagrant as well. I think it was Gonzalez on Tugler. And it's like, I get he's like, a couple of, like, he's maybe 3 or 4 inches taller than you. Stupid thing to do. And I don't know what changed the momentum, if that makes sense. Like, I can see it with my eyes. Like, A&M just could not stop UH. Nothing was working. They couldn't make a shot to save their life either. And as much as I want to be like, well, here's why. It's like, it just broke down. I don't know what it was. It was a tech and then a flagrant. And there are multiple reasons why I think UH did a really good job on the 29-4 stretch they were on for, deep into the second half. With that said, I have been a Mercy Miller fan. I don't know if you know who Master P is, the rapper. He's a son of Mercy Miller who's on UH. He's on UH. And he was a freshman last year. He played a little bit. Didn't really play that much. This year he played a little bit, not as much, but he's playing more. And he came in a lot on this game because UH doesn't have a deep bench. And I think past 5 of the 6 years, UH has had an All-American point guard or guard. That's just point guard or guard. Mercy Miller is the next All-American guard on that team. And it's been pretty evident this season that he's like the next guy up. And I think this game was another like, hey, he's actually really good. And he can take up the mantle like a Flemings or Uzan or a Sharp or Lee. So I was really happy about that game. Do I think this is a sign of what's to come against Illinois? I don't think so. Illinois has a lot of depth. Illinois has a lot of length, and it's tall, which is a problem for UH. They're just not a tall team. They're also not a deep team. But I think this is this was a fun game. Do I think losing to A&M would be worse than losing the national championship? Yes, I do. Only because it's A&M, and I don't know if I can clear that for the next 20 years, because that's all they have is the wins against the opponents sometimes. But good game. Illinois is going to scare me. The Toyota Center is going to be dangerous this weekend. not because the people are dangerous, but because you bring in Midwest energy. I don't know how Midwest energy in the toilet. I mean, how much Coors Light and Michelob Ultra can you have in one place? I hope someone stocked well. Last thing, Texas Gonzaga. I actually we kind of talked about it a little bit, but Gonzaga is just not the team you think it was, and it was evident going into the tournament with St. Mary's and Gonzaga. They just weren't going to make it that far. Do I hate that it was Texas? Of course I do.
So
but-
how much does historical, like, oh, you are a blue blood, you are one of these teams that's always been in the mix? How much does that carry when it comes to the March Madness, like getting in or
Getting
your seeding?
in, I don't think as much as it used to. I mean, I think like you have to ask the committee, but I think the committee has done very much a good job of like they were a 3 seed technically. They with how they played in the WCC, with how the mini games they won, with all the stats would point to they were a good team. But like if you watch them, I test and you're like, well, it's like watching the ACC. Where you're like, they're playing well, but like the competition they have is not excellent, and they just they were not as good as they once were. Like I mean, even last year it was like Gonzaga is a force to be reckoned with, and this year was not a force to be reckoned with. Doesn't mean next year they can't be a force to be reckoned with. It just you kind of have to know, like if it's not a Power 4 school, you kind of have to. And even I'll count the Big East as like a Power 5 school. It's not like a Power 5 school there for basketball. You kind of have to watch and be like, okay, what does it actually look like? You have to do the snip test and be like, okay, what do you actually look like right now?
Is Villanova Big East?
Big East, yeah.
Okay.
I think everyone also like I was hearing and I was seeing and I was like, yeah, you're correct. Utah State over Villanova. Everyone I saw picking things was picking that. So that was like a kind of predetermined thing. The Mormons versus none of the Mormons. Utah State I don't think is very Mormon at all. But Mormons versus Catholics. What was it? Was it Catholics versus Baptist? I think was the thing. No, it's Notre Dame versus
convicts was the thing.
Yeah, no, it was Catholics. You guys played some. Did Notre Dame play BYU at some point in the college football national or college football playoffs?
Yeah, I think it was Catholics versus. I think it was Baptist.
No, because that would have been
Protestants. Orthodox.
Well, yeah, but Baptist would have been like a Baylor or something like that. It wouldn't have been overall. Pretty sure y'all played them in the national college football playoff. All that to say, if I am correct, that y'all beat them once because I remember making that joke to you. Oh no, it was y'all were going to play them in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's
Catholics versus Mormons. Some people call it the Holy War, but that's bullshit because the Holy War is Utah and BYU. The thing I just said that some people call this the Holy War. No.
Oh, okay. When I figured, I think it's Pop-Tarts Bowl. Yeah, we're going to play them in, and the whole joke was it's going to be like who is the real, what's the Christian denomination, Pope versus Elder. I mean, in this situation, I can't think of the word. It's not product, not the atheist. It's the secular Mormons won this round against the Catholics. That's all my notes from the first round. We can go through this weekend, but I mean, what is it to say other than we have good games? I mean, we can go through the picks we have for this weekend. Some of them are.
So March Madness is divided into 2 major weekends.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That's not the way to say it. They're all major. They're all very important. They're all a lot of fun. The first 2 weekends are 2 very different favor different weekends. Weekend 1 is quantity. Weekend 2 is quality. These are where these games get close. You see a lot of the crazy shit at the end, buzzer beaters and all the rest, insane last minute dish efforts and a shit ton of fouling.
Yeah, I am somewhat worried about that. I think maybe it's just my bias here, and it probably is my bias. Maybe Big 12 teams are going to struggle with that. Maybe SEC schools as well. They play pretty physical. Like, who was it? It wasn't BYU. Maybe it was BYU. I don't know. It's another Big 12 school that just got kind of smacked with a ton of fouls. That's just the game they play. It's a very physical game. And it just doesn't get called. It's TCU. TCU versus Duke. It like just didn't get called during the year because it got called some, but it wasn't like against Duke. And I think that's somewhat of a problem, but that's something that can be fixed if you just change the graphic. That's a bigger conversation for a bigger time. Yeah, second wings is going to rock. I don't know if you have any thoughts on the second wing or the first round in general. If you have anything you want to say
there? I can give you the quick over-under update.
Good. How are you doing this year?
Uh-oh. Hold on. He might have fucked up. No, here it is. 22, 24, and 2. There's been 2 pushes so the overs are currently down. But hey. And I just want to talk real quick about that is Alabama. I just want to thank you real quick. You did everything to get us that over. Holy shit. Fuck you, Texas Tech. You did nothing. Good day. Go home.
The thing is, it wasn't like Tech is a bad team. They just got outclassed in that way. They did not play a good game. So that's all. I had Tech going. I think I had Tech keeping Alabama more because I didn't think Alabama was going to be as good as it was, and that's on me. My bad. But Alabama looks really good. And again, it's the UH problem where like you play 2 kind of down teams. This team looks really good, and they face other competition. Like, actually no. I said Alabama versus Michigan this weekend. I think it is. Let me check. Yeah, Alabama versus Michigan. I think Michigan. I don't know. Michigan's a weird team where I don't know what Michigan's going to look like, and that I think they play really weird style of basketball that's actually more akin to the SEC than it is the Big Ten. More fast paced, lots of ball movement, not really slowing down much. So I think it'll be a fun game. Probably will be more outside the house that we would expect from a Big Ten team. With all that said, Brian, wonderful weekend. I didn't even mention Kentucky's. Yes, 2 points.
Oh, sure. 3 things real quick.
3.
Go ahead. Finish on college basketball first.
I was going to say the Kentucky game was a Kentucky. I'm sorry, I don't have this on top of my head. I actually forgot it existed because it's been that good of a weekend. I'm trying to remember who they played. The overtime game.
Oh God! That over was so sexy. Oh man!
Kentucky Santa Clara.
Yes.
Awesome end of regulation. Awesome overtime. Santa Clara, hang your head high. That was a great game.
It was awesome.
That was an awesome game of the tournament, though. Nebraska, Vanderbilt. That was game of the tournament for me.
Those would be my top 2 right now, but we got time.
We got time. Realistically, it's going to change this weekend. Also, Nebraska fans are amazing. Like, they sold out Oklahoma City. Like, it felt
this is why we can never let them get good at football, Jordan, because they are supporting their basketball team, because of course they're going to support their basketball team. If their football team gets this good and makes runs like this, that state is going to burn.
Don't give them the lineman from the 90s with the necks comically large and look like they're going to go run into battle. I think they broke the decibel record for whatever the stadium is called there for Oklahoma City.
Damn.
And there's been NBA Game 7s there recently. Nebraska fans are scary. I don't know. I didn't buy a ticket this weekend. I should have bought a ticket earlier. I'm not going to buy a ticket now because the prices are egregious for the Toyota Center. But I know a lot of Nebraska fans kind of got their hands on it early, just in case. And it's going to be see a wreck actually this weekend with UH and Nebraska. I hope Nebraska. I actually think Nebraska and Iowa fans will cheer for UH more than they will cheer for Illinois because they're unfriendly with each other in the conference. So it'll be a fun. It'll be a fun time. It's going to be. I think there's a lot of fun this weekend as well. Opening day for the Astros. So, but I don't know if we can talk about that at all. I have 2 other before we move on. I just have 2 other notes on other things, but I want to hear your college basketball notes.
I don't have any college basketball notes. My 2 notes are completely off topic.
Oh, mine are too. Yeah, I have 2 other really off topic notes. So.
Okay. Mine are just 2 real quick discussion points.
Okay. I was going to apologize for one of them. The people I wronged earlier this year or last year. Flag football players.
Oh,
My bad. I'm so sorry. I said that NFL players would destroy you. you is
It's
have
for
an
us.
entire
This
yeah
is for us. We get to keep this.
an entirely different skill set. I once refed, well, not refed. I just like watched over flag football games for adults, and again, that was my vantage point for who played flag football. It's 30-year-olds who are afraid to tear an ACL because they've been stretched beforehand, and watching. I'm sorry, I don't know names. I've only seen highlights as well. So there was college basketball. I'm not changing to the fucking Fanatics fest. As a Fanatics hater, I'm not giving them any sort of money at all, including my eyeballs. I did see the highlights, and it is a completely different skill set. Dropping the hips like that, because I think it was Jaden Daniels was just turning his hips, and that works against NFL players who are more used to. Hey, I'm just going to actually go tackle this guy. It's just a completely different skill set. Do I think that if you took NFL players and taught them how to play flag football, it'd be interesting? Of course. I don't think they taught them how to play flag football at all. I think it was just like let's go play football, boys. Let's play football. It's flag football, guys. It's flag football. And they just went in and tried their best. And Logan Paul was there for some reason, so I show speed.
Okay. I was gonna say, and I show speed.
Yeah, who again I do think is quite fast. He's actually very fast.
Very fast.
But yeah, my apologies. I take that L. I think everyone takes that L because I think a lot of people thought that. I did think I didn't make fun of a guy in our comments. I make fun of him. I just did the Trump you're telling me that for the first time that flag football and football are different games. So my bad, guy. I might actually have to go apologize at some point. Be like, you know what? On me. My bad. You're so right. I thought the gladiators I see on Sunday would just destroy the guys who I imagine play rec league flag football, but it turns out I was so wrong.
What about your other point?
This is not a sports point, so I'll save it for the end because I want to see what you think.
Neither one of mine are sports points.
Okay, I went to the rodeo, and this is a hot take I've had for a while about just events with tickets. There's a point where you should be able, you have to give up your seat if you don't show up. At the rodeo, it's like if you're a gold badge member, you can get in and go to the seats. The event started at 6:45, and I get you don't want to come for the rodeo, but Lainey Wilson didn't go until 9:15, maybe a little bit later. Not somewhere I didn't check my watch somewhere around that time. After the first two songs, there were people still showing up and mad that there were gold badge members in their seats, and I would be like, brother, it is like 9:30. The event started at 6:45. I get there's some traffic. I get getting there late. You just didn't want to show up. And so at some point, I think you should have to give up your seat and be like, I'm sorry. I know you bought it, and I think I'd be annoyed if I had extenuating circumstance. I do not think this was an extenuating circumstance. I think they showed up drunk, which, again, it's rodeo. I get it. But, you don't get to show up 3+ hours after the event starts. Be like, why is someone in my seat? You weren't here for 3 hours. It's almost like you're going to be here for 20 more minutes. What was the point of even coming in? And that kind of goes for sports games. If you show up to baseball in the fifth or sixth inning, you don't have a seat anymore. What's the point? If you're showing me the sixth inning, if the seventh inning stretches, and I can see it coming, why are you here? Why are you just now showing up? If you were if you were on the premises somewhere else doing something like drinking, I get it, but you should show up to your seat. At least start the game in your seat, or come back an
hour after kickoff or concert starts or whatever the event is. Hour.
Yeah. I'll even give to maybe the second half in these.
Whatever the halfway point is.
Yeah, I'll give you the second half. College basketball, maybe it's not as long, but probably get the halfway point. And if you show up after that, it's you don't get to have a seat anymore. I get you paid for it. If you paid for it, it was that important that you show up and you have that seat. Be here at close to the beginning. Maybe asking to be at the beginning, just close enough to where you're at least in the vicinity of. I remember how this thing started. By the time these people were getting there, I was like, I think I have to leave in a second to go pick up the thing and check to guest services. And I've been here for 3.5 hours. What are we doing? So I wanted to speak my mind to them, didn't, because I'm a reasonable person. And I'm but I was like, dude, why are you coming in at 9:30? Started 6:45. There's already 2 songs deep. Why are you here? So and then he left to go get more drinks, and I was like, why the fuck do you even keep people out their seat? Yeah, great. Thanks. You ruined someone's experience. That's all my notes for this week. Huh?
Do you want a simple discussion or a more complicated discussion, real quick?
Let's start
both can
simple.
Be done in 2 minutes if we want, or both can be extended conversations in the future.
Let's do simple and then complex. Huh?
Okay, simple. What has been remade, re-recorded, remastered, or redone that is actually worse than the original? So movies, songs, games, anything like that. What has been redone that you're like, this is shit compared to the original?
Noah Kahan's Georgia on My Mind that they played last year for the Masters. It made me so mad. Yeah, it made me so annoyed because it did not interpret well the song by Ray Charles, which is a love song to Georgia. Noah Kahan, this is no hate to Noah Kahan. It was just like him screaming the song. That's not what Georgia is slow paced. It's love. I want Cody Johnson singing about Texas. I don't want like Taylor Swift singing about Texas. For some reason, it's the only country artist I could think of. I don't really like Lainey Wilson singing about Texas because you're not from Texas. It's not a love letter. Whereas like Ray Charles's Georgia on My Mind is a love letter to Georgia, and it's great for the Masters. And when ESPN released or CBS released a commercial with Noah Kahan, I hated it. I still hate it, and it's in my mind. It's the one thing they try to redo. It was like, don't ever do that again. Don't even try. Let's get a Georgia artist next time.
I didn't realize you had that on the ready to go. That was nice. Glad I brought that up. I
talked about it too much. I talked about it way too much.
I was just watching a Pokemon essay about why the remakes are sometimes better, sometimes worse, and I was like, I would play all the remakes beforehand, and then got to my favorite generation. I won't get into too much details, but Emerald is like the better version of Generation 3, and then when they made Aura S, which is Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they removed a bunch of stuff from Emerald, like some of the post games, and replaced it with other stuff. And then there was this thing called the Battle Frontier, which was like coveted. And instead of having the Battle Frontier where they have the Battle Frontier, they just had a little monument that said coming soon with like no plans to release a DLRC or anything. So that's all. And then my other one, more important one, I'll think on some more remade, re-recorded, and remastered stuff that I think is worse because I just need to sit down and think about it. I think we should change up how we do elections.
Okay.
And listen, this is a dumb idiot's idea. Let's get ahead about this. I'm wrong. I am wrong. But this is just how my brain went. Okay?
Okay.
What if, instead of having primaries, the entire United States votes for what party gets elected? Democrat or Republican for the presidency? And then, after the side that has been elected, the candidates come forward and everyone gets to vote for which Republican or which Democrat. Because there's some that are super far right, there's some that are super far left, there's ones in the middle, and it would open things up to me and in a different limelight, towards like for the people that are like, I'm a Democrat, but I would never vote for AOC, or I'm a Republican, but I would never vote for. And how could anyone ever not vote for this man, Jeb Bush? So
Jeb, exclamation mark. As someone who knows a lot about politics, and I like Prince to go on the show because it's a sports show, it's actually not the worst idea in that it does take away some of the problem with primaries is sometimes you get the worst possible candidate because the worst possible people vote in primaries, aka boomers, love voting in primaries. That's their favorite thing to do. That and don't want to pay property taxes, so kids can't go to school. But I mean, obviously the drawback is, well, then you have a one-party system for 4 years or how many years you want.
No. Hold on. Senate, both House and Senate are done normally. I'm saying strictly for the presidency.
Okay.
Strictly for the presidency.
Okay. I actually don't hate that idea, but the question then becomes, does the candidate drives the policy decisions? Which no one gives a shit about policy decisions at this point. No one read Kamala or Trump's policy page. No one gives a shit. Which may have been part of the issue. It's like no one actually read a single thing. That's a whole discussion.
Reel it in. We can save this for summer. Yeah. We need these topics. Let's.
I actually don't. I don't hate that. It's just the question then becomes, well, what policy are you running on? You're running on like who's driving the policy that the parties vote on. Each party has a platform, but like everything's made up of points on that, and no one is ever reached the party platform.
So I want people campaigning the same way. primaries, doing all that stuff. Everyone's campaigning as the president, but us as a country are like, okay, fuck all this party for there is no good candidate this one. This is the party we're going with. They get control of the presidency for the next 4 years. Let's vote on your candidates now.
Okay. Now, I'll bring in one question for you. Third parties. Is this like a first past the post system where the person with the most votes wins? Or is it like a threshold you have to get? Like, you have to get 50% of the vote? Have you thought about that much?
No. There's so many things that we would have to sit down and go through. It would
be
crazy.
Hash it out. This actually sounds like a perfect blog where you just hash this out and be like, listen, I'm stupid, but I want to do this. This is a fun thought I had.
Sometimes you're just in the shower and your mind wanders and you get this brilliant idea to write it down and talk about it on your podcast. Oh, before we go, one more college basketball note. My dad just wanted to let everyone know that he has 2 perfect regions.
That's actually amazing.
He literally texted me. He said, you can, so not can you can. Thanks, Dad. You can mention on your podcast your dad has a perfect East and Midwest region so far.
This is repayment for that.
Love you, Pops. I am. It is cool, but I just love the you can do this.
You will.
I love you, Father. You're ridiculous.
Listen, as someone who had the best, and this no offense to everyone else at your wedding who gave a speech, as the person with the best speech at your wedding, this feels like a proper repayment.
He a fucking 68-year-old man rapped.
Yeah, and it was fantastic, and I loved it. And I was like, I think I stood up at one point at the end. So I was like, that was perfect. So no offense to everyone else at your wedding who gave a speech, but that was the speech.
That was the speech.
That was the speech. It's very memorable. Like, I remember it a year later. I'm like, that was rocked. With all that said, second weekend coming up, Toyota Center going to be rocking with Big Ten energy and UH fans. Hopefully you have tickets. There's a whole thing. Brian, do you have anything else for this upcoming weekend of college basketball fantasticness?
Take the overs.
Take the overs.
No, everyone take the unders. Everyone else take the unders so that the number goes down so Brian can take the overs.
Okay, I don't know why you're talking like someone.
Pretty sure that's like insider trading, by the way. So for legal purposes, this is just a joke.
I don't think you can insider trade on gambling. I think that's impossible. So I don't think you can insider trade on gambling. So it's okay if you tell everyone to do that. I think there is some coins,
I think it's like shaving points and stuff like that. It's something. Listen, I don't do it. I'm just a dumb idiot.
Listen, if anyone takes it seriously, it's like the Big Cat rule with Massachusetts. It was like the Big Cat never can lose parlay, and they had to like go to their Congress and be like, "No, it's a joke. He loses all the time. You can lose all the time. Like, well, you can't say that you never lose.
You can't advertise that this does not lose."
Yeah. But the reality is he loses all the time. So it's actually very much a lose parlay, which I don't think the people, the old people got that joke. But I digress.
I wrote it all the time, too.
Yeah. All right, Brian, where can people find you?
You can find me across all social medias at Org Polaris, AURICPOLARIS, especially at twitch.tv/OrgPolaris. Tomorrow I continue, or I guess today when you're hearing this, I will be streaming some Halo Reach with a couple amigos, and then probably this weekend either going to start up a new Pokemon Nuzlocke randomizer or Pokemon Nuzlocke Soul Link co-pilot with my buddy Monster to make my life even more hell, or I'll want to hurt myself the most and do Elden Ring. So we'll figure out how I want to hurt myself this weekend. Jorden, where can the people find you?
I'm in Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter, but more importantly, I'm in Moontown Sports on Twitter, where I will tweet more often than not during this whole entire saga. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I think that's all. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you listening. Please like, share, subscribe, rate, whatever you can do on whatever platform you're listening on. We will see you next week.
Happy March Madness.